Hello, this is question 1, paper 1 from 2018 Leaving Cert Higher Level Maths exam. Up the top right of the screen you'll find a playlist that has all my solutions to the questions from this paper, and below the video you'll find a link to an image of this question so you can try it in your own time. Up here we have the question. It's a simultaneous equation with 3 unknowns. That means they've given us 3 equations. So we need to solve this. Sometimes there'll be a way to just make 2 of them cancel. I don't see that here. Maybe if there was, like, say, a 3x and this would have been a 9z, they might have cancelled, or it would have had to be minus 9z. I don't see an easy one like that. So we're going to use the substitution method. Now what I like to do is take the simplest equation, although it'll work with any of them. It'll just be easier if you take the simplest one. And in that case, the third one here is the simplest. And we rearrange it so one of the unknowns, the variables, are on their own. In this case, we'll take x here, seems the simplest. X is equal to 3z minus 13. Just rearrange that. So we now know what z is in terms of the other variables. In this case, just one of them, which is even better. So instead of writing the first line or the second line, I'll write them again with this new information. So what I mean is, instead of this x, I'm going to write this x here. So for example, 2 times x is the same as 6z, 2 times this, minus 26, 2 times this. And then I just continue as normal, plus 3y minus z equals minus 4. Is that correct? Yes, minus 4. Okay, I'll just double check my notes here because it's so easy to make mistakes in a question like this. I'd say probably even me that does lots of these, I'd say I make mistakes 2 out of every 10. I just end up doing these questions twice. And I do them twice because I'm unsure whether I've got it right. So actually that's another hint. In an exam you should have plenty of time. Just do the question twice. You'll find so many mistakes if you're prone to mistakes. Anyway, I'll do the second line here. 3 times this gives me 9z minus 39, and then I just fill in the rest of it. 2y plus 2z equals 14. I'm double checking here. Okay, so now we have 2 equations with 2 unknowns, but we can clean this up a bit. Let me just, I have it in the notes here, so I'll clean up the first one. We get 3y plus 5z is equal to 22. Cleaning up the second one, we get 2y plus 11z is equal to 53. Or that's equal to 53, there we go. So I've just changed this with this new bit of information to a normal simultaneous equation. We have 2 unknowns, 2 equations. Again, you can use the substitution method again, or you can just line up one of these variables. I'll choose to line up the first one here. We'll change this into a 6y, and we'll change this into a 6y. So we just multiply all this by 2. We get 6y plus 10z is equal to 44. Yes, and the second one we get 6y plus 33z is equal to 3 times this is 159. Yes, and then we take them away. Let's see, let's take the top one away from the bottom one. So the bottom one minus the top one. We'll get 23z's here. 159 take away 44 is 115. Z goes into this evenly. It looks like 5 times 20 is 100. 5 3s are 15. Yeah, goes check on a calculator. Goes in evenly 5 times. Z is equal to 5. Now, so many students leave this as their answer. You're going to get, 5 out of 10, something like that. You've done all the hard work, but you forgot to answer all the questions. We want x, y, and z. Okay, so you have z. Let's find one of the other ones. This line here will make it very easy to find x. Put z in, we get x equals. So what's that? X is equal to 15 minus 30. Well, let me write it out. X is equal to 15 minus 13. X is equal to 2. Now pick any of these two. When we fill z and x in, we're just left with y. So I'll take the top one there. So we get 2 x's is 4 plus 3 y's minus z, which is 5, is equal to minus 4. Let's see, 3y is equal, that's that minus 1 plus 1 is equal to minus 3. Y is equal to minus 1. So there's our 3 answers. And that'll get you the full marks in the first part. Well, let me double check that. Minus 1, 2 and 5. Yes. Okay. If you have any follow-up questions or if you see any mistakes I made, I have been very known to make them, let me know and I'll do my best to fix it. Otherwise, I'll rub this out and we'll move on to part B. Right, in part B, they give us this inequality here and ask to solve for x. They also tell us x is not equal to minus 2, which is good. Otherwise, we'd be dividing by 0. Okay, there's 2 common ways to answer this question. The first one is to square both sides. That'll get rid of an inequality. Most students do it that way. It makes the question a little bit awkward and a little bit longer. So I'm going to do it the other way, especially because it helps understanding, I think, in maths. In college level, we would do what I'm about to do more commonly. It would solve more questions, basically. We split it into 2 parts. So, how to describe this? If you tried to answer this question normally, you would just multiply both sides by x plus 2. So let me write that in here. 2x minus, let me write all of this again. We multiply the left by x plus 2, and we multiply the right by x plus 2. Now the problem with doing that with an inequality is, for an inequality we need to be careful of one thing. We need to be careful of multiplying by a minus. And did I just multiply by a minus? And the point is you don't know. So we're going to have to split the world into 2. We're going to have to do this question again. I'm just going to write this out again with the magic of editing. It'll take a second. I'll rub out the inequalities actually. Okay, I've just copied the same thing both times. Now I said we need to be careful if we multiply by a minus, because if we multiply x plus 2 here, if that's bigger than 2, this works like normal. I'll put this inequality back in. But if x plus 2 is less than 0, this turns into, it changes the sign. It changes the sign of the inequality. So we've split the world into 2 possibilities here. If you can do that, go ahead and do it, because 2 isn't that many to deal with. If you have to split the world into 6 possibilities, you might want to find a better way. But let's see what happens now. These just cancel. They're not 0, so we can cancel them away. And we're left with a fairly simple thing here. 2x minus 3 is bigger than 3x plus 6. If we rearrange that, let's see, all the x's on the right to keep them positive, we'll get just x. All the numbers on this side, we'll get minus 9. To write that more commonly, let's just put x on this side. X is less than or equal to minus 9. Now, it's very important to remember one thing. This is the world we live in. We chose to live in this world. X plus 2 is bigger than 0. That means x is bigger than minus 2. So let's see. We're in the world that we're bigger than minus 2. Let me write here. And x is bigger than minus 2. There's no number exists in this world. There's no number bigger than minus 2 and less than minus 9. So this is not an answer. This is a dead end. We could ignore this. Let's move on to this one. You'll have to do both of them anyway. Sometimes the answer is half of this one and half of this one. In this case, it's not this one. We'll move on to this one. It'll come out very similar. We'll get the same line here as minus 9. We'll just get the inequality will be different and we'll get an x here. That's the only thing that'll change because of this. So this world, it'll say x is bigger than or equal to minus 9. And remember the world we're living in, it is x is less than minus 2. Let's write in here. And x is less than minus 2. If we put these two together, we get x is less than minus 2. Well, which is the bigger number? This one is bigger, okay. Less than minus 2 and greater than minus 9. Greater than or equal to minus 9. So that's our solution. This is the solution for the x here. It's bigger than or equal to minus 9 and it's less than minus 2. You should have got the same answer if you squared both sides as well. Now, if you have any questions about doing it this way, let me know in the comments. I'll do my best to answer. But as you can see, it's very short and simple, much less maths than doing it with a quadratics. But not many students do it this way, which I think is unfortunate. Okay, thanks for watching and have a great day.